to date. And as you heard from my introductory remarks, I want to say that we have done fairly well. And overall, if you check the overall score, we've scored 80% overall in all the sectors. But in the document, you will find out details on how each sector has scored. Unfortunately, when the Director of Planning was presenting, he was not able to show how the scoring was done and how each sector performed. But in the document, you will see how each sector performed. So I would say that there are quite a number of areas where we have not done well. But overall, I would say we have met the requirements that we set out. And as I said earlier, we, personally myself, my key interest is to put in place good governance system. Because one of the biggest problems we are having, even in this country, is governance. If you ask anybody in this country, he will tell you it's governance that is a major issue. So I have taken more time to put governance as a priority. And how have I done that? By automation. I believe in automation. I believe in digitization of all the processes. And if we deal with the digitization and be able to ensure that all our government functions and activities are all automated, then this big pandemic called corruption will be reduced by more than 50%. Because corruption is there because people are doing things in a manner that is not transparent. So governance has been given a priority. Personally, to me, is one thing that I feel I've done very well. Second, health. Health has also been given a good emphasis, because we believe that if you have a healthy population, then people can work, they can create wealth themselves. So we have put a lot of health, and we have put in a lot of health facilities. Since I came in, we have put over 25% new health facilities. I'm happy to report that when I came in, our Vihiga referral hospital was a level 3. And then later on, we have moved it to level 4. But 2 months ago, we have now been upgraded to level 5 for the first time. Now we can call ourselves a referral hospital. Before we were lying, we were not a referral hospital. We were not. So we are now a fully referral hospital, and we have gone further and put a law, and thanks to the county assembly, we have put a law which has now made our referral hospital to be a parastatal. From July, our hospital, our referral is going to be a parastatal. It will work on its own, it will make its own money, and it will do everything else. We have even now again, Muhaya, our hospital, was a level 3. Due to good performance again, we have put this now been upgraded to level 4. So now we have 4 level 4 hospitals in the county, that is Vihiga, that is Muhaya, Sabatia, and Hamisi, and we want now to improve now our health centers. And one good thing must say is about SHA. Many people have talked negative things about SHA, but me as a governor, I can tell you, SHA is transforming healthcare system in this country. And with the time, we shall have universal health coverage. Because for the first time under FIF, the Facility Improvement Fund, now money is going directly to the health facilities, whether it is a dispensary or not. So once people go there and they are under SHA, the money goes directly there, and that money is used at that facility. And from the time SHA came in, the issue of drugs, lack of drugs is coming to an end. And all I need to tell our people is register under SHA. It may have problems, but I can assure you it's working. Even our referral, this time, they have now money. You know, every month you hear they have got 20, 30 million, and now they are not troubling me again about, where do we get money for drugs. So SHA is working. So health systems, I can tell you, is working. You have heard about water. Water we have done extremely well. And we've decided we will solarize all our water projects, because the biggest problem with water in this country is that we use main grid power, and the bills are too high. So we've decided we are going to solarize all our water systems and be community driven. So far we have done 28 and they are working very well. So I don't want to go into the details unless you want me to.
Maybe one question will be on the hospital plaza, the doctor's hospital plaza. How do you call it? Doctor's plaza. Yeah. Doctor's plaza. What's the status? You only have some months to go. When are we launching it? Because we have been launching it.
Hospital plaza, as we talk now, is complete. In fact, if you had a chance after here, you go there, is complete. We are just doing the final finishes. We have put orders for equipment, and anytime from July onwards, we are going to officially open the hospital plaza, and it's going to transform the healthcare system in this county. Already we are, by just making it a parastatal, I can see now people are even coming from other counties, which I don't want to name, to come here. Even we have now our most modern maternal and child care hospital, which was built with the help of Safaricom. Now we have women coming from very many counties coming to give birth. In fact, I'm forced now, I'm going to expand it because the number of demand is very high.
Maybe on health, can you tell us that the state has over the staffing levels as it is, the staffing levels as it is in our facilities? Levels. Staffing levels.
Staff.
Yes.
Yeah, staff. Yeah, staff level. Yes. That is one area where we need to improve, because yes, we have a lot of facilities we have put up, but then the staffing, because of budgetary constraints, we have a number of staff, a number of health facilities that should have staff is not having staff. And this is an area again, and I have the Director General of Vision 2030 here. I think, to me, the way, areas like health and education, they should be categorized as development and not recurrent. Because of they are categorized as recurrent, we find that we are constrained by the Finance Management Act not to employ more people. Because when I employ a nurse, they say that is recurrent. But to me, a nurse is doing a development agenda. By providing health services, is doing equally a teacher. So that's one challenge.
Could that be a problem that many counties are facing, to not to be able to reach the cap of 35% of the salaries that we are talking about, especially when it comes to the budgets that we have, given out 2026,
we cannot.
2027?
And I can tell you, even government itself, I don't think the national government, you see, I can confirm, we are not at 35%. Most of the counties, there are very few, particularly the northeastern counties that have very few people. But the rest of the high density counties, our salary wage bill is more than 40. In fact, some have gone even 50 to 60.
Mm-hmm. My last question. The county right now projects the on-source revenue to 472. Right now, that is 2026, 2027. Right now, you are at 398. What are the new measures that you're putting in place, the revenue measures you're putting in place?
We have put new measures and automation. We have automated all the systems now, even the land rates and so on, approval of fiscal infrastructure. And I can assure you, we are going to pass the target we have put of 492. We are going to pass it. My target is by 30th of this month, I should reach 500 million, which is going to be a milestone. And if we get that, it means we have more money to pump into development activities.
Let us get a question from KBC also.
I'm from KBC. Just to bring you back to today's book launch, based on the MTR, what do you think, or what's your rating, or your overall rating?
I have said my overall, check the report. Our overall rating is that we've scored 80%. Up to where we are now, we have scored 80%. But each sector you can see, you can go and check and you see what each sector has scored.
Excellent. Etienne, Governor, just one question. There is a problem of disbursement from the national government. You've scored 80. How have you managed, and what are the levels of the national disbursement to the counties, and how have you managed to achieve 80 with the late disbursements from the national?
As I said earlier in my remarks, I said that I have a good rapport with the government partners and civil society. And I have many of my projects, like in water, many of these projects, even in health. In health alone, I have 27 partners who are sponsoring various programs. So I have managed this through negotiations or partnership with various partners and civil society. Even the Catholic, the Church Catholic, I can tell you they are doing so much for us. Even the Maragoli Hills, they are pumping in a lot of money. Yes, there is delay in disbursement, but eventually we end up getting the money. So as much as we say it is late, but eventually we get the money. So we can still do the thing. What we end up having is spending bills, but we eventually have the money.
So one question from 2047, and then we get a comment from Director General Vision 2030, and we also get a comment from COG. Okay?
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Actually, the weight bill of Vihiga County is 43%. That means approximately 180 million is used to pay salary.
Correct.
Now, most counties have been spotlight over a lot of allocation from the exchequer, going to the salaries.
Yes.
Affecting development.
Correct. Yes, I can confirm that yes, our wage bill is high. We are not at 35. And therefore, money that should have gone to development is going to wage bill. But I have also said earlier on, the biggest workforce is health. My workforce is 50%, followed by education, where I have my ECT teachers are 862. So when you look at those as a recurrent, then most of the money goes. And that's why I would say education and health should be considered as development.
Thank you. Yeah, then Director General, maybe briefly, you have gotten a review of the midterm report. Maybe wanafikia pale 2030 Vision 2030 wataingiana nayo ama bado Vihiga tuko mbali kidogo? Kama utaongea Kiswahili, na kuna wenzangu wanaomba sana Kiswahili.
Asante sana. Nitajaribu kusema kwa Kiswahili. Ni kwamba ukisikiliza zile mada 10 amepeana, zote zinaingiana na the 3 pillars that you speak about in the vision. We have an economic, you can get a number of them from agriculture to tourism in there. We have the infrastructure, the numbers, and you have heard about water. We have the health and also the social sector. Possibly what we could be looking at is the sync with the current plan. The county is today launching the midterm review of the third cycle of the CIPP, which coincides with the 4th medium-term plan, the national medium-term plan. And during the period, we are discussing the implementation of what the presidency has given us as the data. But then which are these areas so that we can see whether they are moving in sync? There are 5 areas. Number 1, there is agriculture transformation. And when I was going around here, I could associate with the aspect of the value chains and the premium that have gone into that. There is the aspect of universal health coverage, and Excellency has spoken to that at length. The aspect of ensuring that there is access. There is aspect of the youth and the digital, and he's talked about digitalization, which is a key element of that. And in all the 10 that he spoke to, you can see a sync into that. Perhaps the diversity would come in certain aspect that may, each county has its own unique, and like I could see the aspect of the honey harvesting there. You may not find that in all the counties because of the attributes that are in other areas, but they are doing very well. The rehabilitation of the forest, the Maragoli Hills, also brings with it the aspect of the environment and empowerment. So generally looking at what has been said, and I was trying also to attempt to look at the methodology used together with the objective that has been given. Vihiga County moves very well with the national targeting.
EG, 4 years from now is 2030.
Yes.
You started a vision that was to transform the country. where do you envision yourself 4 years just from before the elapsing of that grace period you have given yourself? And again, there's a lot of political arithmetic that have turned up since you came up with the concept. Do you think that is the main pillar that has hindered your ability to achieve Vision 2030? As say?
Okay, I'll start by saying that since 2008, we have not deviated from Vision 2030. We could have had highlighting of key fractions from different administrations, and I'll give an example. The previous administration talked about the Big Four agenda. Which are these 4 big agenda for the Big Four agenda? Agriculture, industry, to give jobs, health, and the fourth one, affordable housing. Those are the Big Four agenda. Let's look at the 5 core pillars in the data today as being implemented. And I have tried to highlight them. Agricultural transformation and food security is one of them. Universal health coverage. Those 2 are the Big Four agenda. We look at the housing. Housing was also in the Big Four agenda. There are 2 elements that may not be going so direct, but they fitted in there. Currently, we are talking about 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic, which was started during the other administration. So generally to say is that all the 4 governments that have been since, or rather there are 2, but you can count them in 5 years, you'll see the implementation of vision into that. The only thing that have been happening is highlighting what we think will help accelerate implementation, some innovations here and there. Now, coming to 4 years from today, and I like what the governor has released now. It's the first county to release the midterm review. It's basically 2.5 years from starting of implementation. Implementation ought to go to 2008 June. So in the remaining 2 years, there is some little portion that we will donate to the succeeding government. Now, together with that, we look at also what is happening at the national level. The vision has never had a comprehensive, we normally have annual reporting, but this year and possibly before December, we shall have a comprehensive assessment of the entirety of the vision so that we can have an index. But currently, and which could be launched in the next 1 month, you remember they are the flagship project. We started with 93, but got multiplied based on the need from sectors to about over 370. And the work is already getting to completion. There is already the sector, the clinics that have been foreseen for validation. And of course, because of Article 10 and 232 talks about the stakeholder engagement, it has to be taken out there. But possibly July, August, we shall have seen that comprehensive assessment. Now the question is, moving to the 4 years now that is remaining, what is it that we need to do? There is a discussion on the next long-term plan because you cannot start it when you get there. And together with that, there is a transition plan because the 4th medium-term plan will only take us to 2028 June. So there is that remnant of the period to 2030. So we must be thinking about that. There is already a framework that is going through discussions, and the internal consultation has already gone in with the sectors' involvement, but beyond now sectors to the Mwananchi, we shall see that getting into before we complete this calendar year. So to say that we may not have that index that you tell us this how far you have gone, you can only get there through sector to sector.
Banadiji, let me just shoot one question. The control of budget flagged Vihiga County as one of the counties with low development absorption at 7%. From where you sit at Vision 2030's perspective, how should the Vihiga residents reconcile this with a positive, midterm report that we are seeing today?
Okay. Maybe I would associate that with development funding across the board because of the technicalities that come with that. That comes as is absorbed later than the treasury given funds. But I'll mention something that the governor has said. very important. He talked about 27 development partners. What are they doing? Bridging the gap. And he talked about others that are mentioned in one sector. If all counties, and not only counties, even ministries, you solicit resources from outside, you accelerate the pace and you enhance even implementation. What I need also to say is that the moment you have a plan, say for example the CIDP for Vihiga County, or even national plan, you look at the priorities and interventions that need to be implemented and you cost that. What you find is that what you already have as revenue generated is never enough to meet the requirement each year. So what you need to do is look at alternative sources of resources. So yes, the controller of budget, and you see you are guided by a certain tenet of budget. You don't go beyond what you are assessing. The assessment could be on already the donor funding that is already captured. But you see now there is that much that is coming beyond what could have been captured. And donor funding can go beyond external and even local. And the governor has already talked about Safaricom, which is local. He talked about the contribution of the church. If you put all that together, you see that this is beyond the money that is received from the budget for the county. And therefore that explains now that a budget between there's so much there's so much implementation vis-a-vis what the report could have said.
Thank you.
But these reports also help us to also, the aspect that Governor talked about, the governance. Governance is not something you can complete at once. You learn every day and you implement and you try to improve on a day-to-day basis. Nobody could say that he has met all the attributes of governance. So we keep learning, and even that report should be used for learning.
Thank you. One question for COG, please. One question for COG. If there's none, one question from the State Department of Devolution. We have a representative.
Yes. One question.
Anybody? If there's no question, we wrap it up.
Unless on actor.
I'll say something.
Yes.
Now, my name is Kizito Wangalwa, Council of Governors. And I wish, first of all, to commend the Governor and his team for fast-tracking the midterm review of their CIDP. This is basically preparing ground for the next CIDP, as the Governor also concludes his 1 year. But beyond that, I want to flag out three things that Vihiga County has pioneered, which we want to celebrate. One, Governor, as the chair of the Climate Change Committee, is actually the architect of the FLOCA program that now is in all the 47 counties and is due to end this year. And therefore, you have made a tremendous contribution as a county through the Governor for onboarding a climate change program that now covers all the 47 counties. Vihiga County has also pioneered the issue of digital labs. It's only in Vihiga until very recently that you could see trends in what is happening from a dashboard. So that automation, which the Governor is so courageous to pioneer, is one of the things that has also helped also to have all the county governments now fast-tracking the implementation of having their GIS labs onboarded. But Vihiga was there way before the others. So we would want to laud the Governor for that. Finally, on the climate change issue, when we were piloting the issue of community-based planning for climate action, again, Vihiga was one of the first counties to give us a framework where we can also help get the county governments to do community-based planning for investment in climate change. So you see, in as much as Vihiga might not be sounding big money, there are things that Governor did mention. Vihiga is one of the smallest counties in terms of size and population, and therefore they are not as endowed as any other county. So when they go beyond the 35% cap on the wage bill,